Title: The Unyielding Flame. In the heart of the bustling city of Oria lived a young woman named Layla, known for her quiet demeanor but fiery determination. Layla was an inventor, dreaming of creating devices that would revolutionize the lives of people around her. However, her dreams often seemed as out of reach as the stars. Despite facing numerous failures, she held on to a steadfast belief: persistence could make the impossible possible. Layla's small workshop, crammed into a corner of her family's modest home, was filled with half-finished contraptions, scattered tools, and blueprints plastered on every available surface. Her neighbors often saw her through the window, working tirelessly into the night, her hands stained with grease and her face illuminated by the flicker of a single lamp. Chapter 1: The First Sparks. Layla's first attempt to build her turbine was a disaster. She spent months constructing a prototype, using salvaged parts and borrowed materials. When she finally tested it, the blades spun for a mere few seconds before grinding to a halt. The neighbors who had gathered to witness her invention burst into laughter. "Stick to what you know, Layla," one shouted. "Dreams like these are for the rich and educated," another chimed in. Their words stung, but Layla refused to let them extinguish her resolve. That night, as she sat amidst the wreckage of her failed experiment, her father approached her. "Layla," he said gently, placing a hand on her shoulder, "sometimes failure is the best teacher. What did you learn from this?" Layla wiped her tears and replied, "That my design isn't good enough yet, but it will be." Her father smiled, "Then start again." Chapter 2: A Rocky Road. Over the next year, Layla poured every ounce of her energy into refining her design. She read every book she could find on aerodynamics, energy conversion, and mechanics, even borrowing manuals from the city library. She sought out advice from older engineers in the city, though many dismissed her as a naive girl with an unattainable dream. Her second prototype showed promise. When she tested it, the blades spun smoothly and the small generator began to produce energy, enough to light a single bulb. The joy was short-lived, however, as the turbine collapsed under its own weight moments later. Failure followed failure. Some designs were too weak to withstand strong winds, others were too bulky to be practical. Each setback brought fresh doubt from the neighbors and even her family. "Maybe it's time to let this go," her mother suggested one evening. "You've done your best, but some dreams just aren't meant to be." Layla's voice was steady as she replied, "Not yet. I haven't done everything I can." Chapter 3: The Guiding Light. One day, Layla met an old man named Elias, a retired inventor who had once been renowned for his creations. She found him tending to a small garden outside his home, far from the noise of the city. "I've heard of you," Elias said when Layla introduced herself, "the stubborn girl with the broken turbines." Layla flushed, but nodded. "I came to ask for your guidance." Elias chuckled. "Persistence is a fine quality, but it's not enough on its own. Come, let me show you something." He led her into his workshop, a treasure trove of strange devices and intricate models. "Every invention here represents countless failures," he said. "The world only sees success, but success is built on a foundation of broken attempts. Learn from each failure, and you'll find your way." Elias became Layla's mentor, teaching her the intricacies of design and the patience needed to perfect her work. Under his guidance, Layla began to see her failures not as dead ends, but as stepping stones. Chapter 4: Winds of Change. Layla's seventh prototype was unlike anything she had built before. It was lighter, more efficient, and designed to adapt to varying wind speeds. She tested it on a small hill outside the city, far from the doubting eyes of the neighbors. When the wind picked up, the blades began to spin, faster and faster, until the generator hummed to life. Layla held her breath as the small bulb she had connected flickered on, glowing steadily in the dusk. Tears streamed down her face as she realized her dream was finally within reach. But the journey was far from over. Scaling her invention for broader use required resources she didn't have. She decided to present her work to the city council, hoping to secure funding. Chapter 5. Against all odds. The council granted her a small grant, enough to build one large turbine. Layla worked tirelessly, assembling a team of volunteers and sourcing materials from scrapyards. Every setback, every broken blade, every malfunctioning generator was met with relentless determination. Don't forget your support for the channel, and thank you for watching.